Today we'll be looking at one of the biggest releases of the new year, the Nike Mercurial Vapor 14 and the Superfly 8. This rather crazy looking boot will be the 14th iteration of the Vapor Silo and the 8th of the Superfly. Nike has gone with a ridiculous design that is supposedly supposed to take inspiration from dragonfly wings, and yes, you heard me right. They have introduced a lot of new features as they usually do with their new models. So if you're interested in learning more about these, watch the whole video, and if you're interested in picking up a pair for yourself, there will be a link down below where you can pick them up at wegotsoccer.com. Quick disclaimer, everything we're about to say today is coming from a short experience with the boots, but everything we say will carry over to the Superfly because they're basically the same thing, just without the collar.
So as we said before in the introduction, there are some pretty crazy changes on the new Mercurial, but there are some of the basic elements that stay the same, such as the classic Mercurial silhouette, a little bit of the sole plate, the theme of speed, and of course, it's got ACC. And now we'll move on to some of the major differences. So for starters, it's no longer a full Flyknit upper. Now Nike have chosen to go with something called Vaporposit for the majority of the upper. I'm not a huge fan of it, but Vaporposit is a very good synthetic. Flyknit is not totally gone, however, as we see some incorporated right here on what would be the tongue. However, it is a one-piece upper, so it's not technically the tongue. Now the Vaporposit upper consists of 4 layers. We have kind of like a suede-like liner on the inside of the boot for cushioning, something called a Titan synthetic, which provides the kind of structure and texture. Then we have another mesh liner on top of that that adds even more texture and more structure. And then finally, we have the finished coating on top, which I believe is a Duragon material. Now the new synthetic upper is noticeably stiffer than the Flyknit upper that we see on the Vapor 13. However, it doesn't feel that much different on feet, which we'll get into a little bit more later. Even though I did say it was slightly stiffer than the Vapor 13, it is not like super stiff by any means. There are definitely stiffer boots on the market, and this is still a pretty soft and pliable upper, just stiffer than Flyknit. Flipping the boots over, we have the sole plate here, which looks completely different to the untrained eye, but in fact, it is actually very similar to the previous generation. We no longer have the split sole design. Instead, we have this spine running through the midfoot here, but the stud layout and stud shape is pretty much exactly the same, so you're gonna have pretty much identical traction to the Vapor 13. But my knowledge on boot technology is fairly limited, so I've enlisted the help of my good friend James, aka the Boot Wizard, to tell you guys more about the technology of these boots.
What's up everyone, my name's James and I'm from Boot Wizard Boot Reviews, and firstly I want to say a huge thanks to the guys for letting me come on their channel and talk boots. Today, we are of course talking Superfly 8 or Vapor 14. They're both exactly the same, it's just that the Superfly has a little dynamic fit collar and the Vapor 14 does not. It's your only difference. The way this boot's been designed visually is actually awesome for showing you the tech within the boot. So you can actually see through this top coating, this transparent layer, into all of these different color sections which correspond to different types of technology within the upper of the boot. And Nike have even gone as far to number them on the upper, and that corresponds to the numbers that are on the insole. Awesome. So if you put together all of that listed technology, apart from the Flyknit midsection, what you get is a Vaporposit upper. So all of this is Vaporposit. Vaporposit is made up of 4 layers. You get the Avail Q lining, and then on top of the Avail Q lining, you get a Titan synthetic, which is actually what you can see, and it's all of these different color sections that run around the boot. They're different colors because each section is a different type or responds differently as a result of the way that the Titan synthetic has been designed. On top of the Titan synthetic, you get a yarn. So this crisscross pattern that you can see running all the way around the boot, this is a melted yarn that's been put on the top of the boot, and you can see that it actually has a different pattern as it comes towards more high concentrated areas where the boot needs to have better lockdown and better responsiveness. And then on top of that, you've got your Duragon wet traction coating. Now, that was on the previous generation. It was a Duragon Duragon top coating. Now it's a WT, which is supposed to help you more in wet weather conditions. And of course, your ACC is on there as well. They're all your Vaporposit upper components. Back to you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Now for my favorite section of the review, which I say time and time again on this channel, the comfort. As you can probably expect, these will fit pretty much exactly the same as the previous generation of Vapors. Surprisingly, the new synthetic material feels very similar to Flyknit when it's on feet, although a little bit stiffer. The heel extension on the back of the boot didn't seem to bother me when I first put them on, but time will tell if it becomes a problem later on. These boots manage to give you that barefoot feel and locked-in sensation that the previous models gave you while still being comfortable at the same time.
Looks-wise, I'm pretty sure it's fair to say that these boots are out there. I counted myself and it seems like this pair of Vapors has 9 different colors on it, but even though that seems outrageous, Nike has a good reasoning to do that. The design choice does make sense from a marketing standpoint because for the launch colorways of new boots, you want something that stands out so that people are more inclined to buy them and take notice of them. Now, what's cool about this colorway is that you can clearly see everything that makes up the upper, and they're actually numbered, and you can actually refer to the insole to see what each of these numbers means. My favorite element here is number 6, which is the speed wings. These have absolutely nothing to do with performance. I just think they look hella cool. And then one of my other favorite features is that we've got the translucent holes on the side of the boot here, which is pretty neat because you can see inside the boots, and it also kind of adds to the whole lightweight feel of the Mercurial. And then we've got the sole plate, which is a nice chrome sole plate. And this sells me quite a bit because I just am a huge fan of chrome sole plates. I mean, look at it. Look at how beautiful that is. All in all, the Vapor 14 does have a pretty crazy design in this launch colorway, but I guess I'm gonna say I'm a fan of it because I enjoy Nike's attention to detail.
So here are my final thoughts about these boots. I think that Nike went more back to their roots with the Mercurials, as they went for the more raw, barefoot, speed sensation, whereas the Flyknit offered more of a soft upper. There's no doubt that these are a fantastic boot and Nike did a great job developing it. It is Nike's flagship model after all, so we would all hope that they did a good job. If I had to choose between the Vapor 13 or 14, I think I would go with the Vapor 13 though, because I do like the Flyknit upper more, but that opinion could change once I get some more time in these. But what do you guys think of these? I'm very curious as to what you guys think down in the comments below. If you were impressed by these boots, be sure to pick up a pair using the link down below from WeGotSoccer.com. And as always, thank you to them for sending these out. Also, a huge thank you to Boot Wizard James for helping us out on this review. Be sure to follow him on all his socials down in the description below. If you want to see us do more videos with Boot Wizard or just more boot reviews in general, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok. With that all said and done, I'm Justin, and I'll see you in the next video.